Alive and alert on the north side of the dirt. It is your man, D-Real. Coming at you with another Be Real with D-Real, where edutainment is what I do. Um, I'm going to be edutaining on contrast and comparison as it relates to scantily clad superhero characters. And there are about 3 or 4 in particular that I want to bring up. You know who one of them is going to be. But before I get off into that, I need y'all to do what you always do for me. Comment, like, subscribe, and share the Be Real with D-Real page so that when new material comes out, you get it. If you dig in what a brother's shoveling, put some dirt in my bucket. Comment, like, subscribe, and share the Be Real with D-Real page. I might do some revamping of the shelf there for Black History Month. Do something surprising. But anyway, here's where I'm at with it. The other day, I came across an article about female superhero costumes. Now, let me give you a quick montage of female superhero costumes. See a pattern? Yeah. I know they have strived in the 2000s to make female superheroes costumes not as gratuitously sexist. And I know a lot of people, let's just talk about Wonder Woman for a second. Now, I know there are 3 artists that draw a pretty interesting rendition of Wonder Woman. The first, of course, is the legendary, rest in power, George Perez. Now, George Perez's Wonder Woman wasn't sexy per se, but that was 1986 too. But I know what you're saying. Maybe later on down the line, somebody decided to draw Wonder Woman a little freakier. Let's go to Mike Deodato Jr. in the 90s. Now, not as bad. Okay, even when she switched up and got replaced by Artemis, the costume she had, I think, was even less revealing. I don't know. Do camel toes count? I mean, I don't know. I agree that a lot of the stuff that female superheroes wear is provocative. How come men, well, not as provocative, but dang. I mean, my man walking around in swim trunks. And nobody says anything about that because Namor is male. And it's okay for a man to walk around like that. You know, do women get excited about Namor? Do women get excited about Hercules? You know, the double standard that always kicks in. And I know in recent times, Hercules costumes been revamped to be a little less revealing as a male costume. We need to stay consistent with Namor, and you know he's got the little armor thing now, but I don't know, he's trying to like show sexy midriff or whatever and have long. Anyway, that's not what I want to talk about. What I'm getting at here is I don't think Wonder Woman is the most sexually gratuitous super heroine out there. That gal right there. And for that reason, now, I don't want to say size matters, but people loved and still love and prefer this costume on zor-el from Earth 2. However, what do folks have to say about that costume? What did folks have to say about? I mean, look at Reed Richards himself right there. He's still like, oh my God. I'll probably say something like that too if my wife came out the house looking like that. But check it. Marvel felt compelled to run as far away from the classic look as they could in the 90s. It happened a lot in the 90s. It wasn't a great time for anyone costume-wise, ain't that the truth? With a lot of trends that got dated in a hurry. By far, the worst involved putting women in the skimpiest costumes possible, a ridiculous trope that reached its apotheosis with Sue Storm. This costume exists, and that's all that can be said about it. The utter impracticality and sheer banality of the costume make it legendary for all the wrong reasons. Impractical and banal is what they call Sue Richards' outfit of the 90s. Banal and impractical. So that what she's wearing in her debut, that's practical. That's practical. Gotcha. Okay, got it. At least Susan Richards has force fields. At least Susan Richards can become invisible if she needs to. Hence my point. See what I'm saying? Impractical and banal. Really impractical and banal. You telling me a woman wearing an outfit like that, flying through the air, is not going to have the girls come out every once in a while. You see what I'm saying? What is there some special field around them that keeps them from flopping out? And I mean, over the years, they've made her more and more and more and more and more buxom. So why is it and I'm not being sexist or chauvinist, but is it because they're bigger and that they're on display? Because I mean, Susan Richards is doing the exact same thing as Power Girl with her costume. And so what's the balance? What's the difference? Because I mean, the 90s was just filled with costumes like this. I mean, we could go Witchblade, we could go Dawn, we could go Red Sonja, we could, I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Dudes in the 90s were living out their fantasies through what they drew, through what they put on the comic pages. Now, here's a costume that Power Girl had during the Birds of Prey run, a little more respectable, little less revealing. That picture's hella suggestive. It's kind of like what they used to do with Wonder Woman all the time. But she ain't showing nothing. So folks demanded that we get rid of this. And of all the times that Kara gets shot, I very rarely see somebody like shoot her right dead. Okay, I'm gonna move on. That's a nice costume. There's nothing wrong with that costume besides the fact of what it's not revealing. You know what I mean? And if we talk about practicality, you know what I'm saying? That's practical, yo. But no, we got to go back to that. for the for the shallow and chauvinistic, we get to have that. And what did she say? And this is Green Lantern, and asked her why she never wore a mask. And that was her response. Because most of the time, they ain't looking at my face. Then cover them up. You have a girlfriend? No. I suggest getting one. So if I do a side-by-side comparison of Sue Richards' 90s costume and Power Girl's favorite costume of all time, which one are people going to prefer? My question, why does Power Girl's costume persevere? Because when I go to comic conventions, you know, the two most cosplayed characters, or should I say the two most played female cosplay characters. And this is what I see. I don't know what y'all see at Comic Cons and whatnot. Power Girl and Wonder Woman. Those are the two I see the most. Outside of anime characters and things of that nature, them two. Okay? So one's iconic and one's a showstopper. You know what I mean? Why has that costume persevered? Because she's had that costume since the mid 70s. Why has that costume persevered? Because fanboys by and large are like that. Or some fanboys by and large are like that. What's the answer? Why, without being disrespectful, why has that costume persevered? Adam Hughes has made it super popular now. I mean, she's on the cover of a comic book. I think, Mr. Smith, I sent that comic book to you and you gave it to somebody else. But they're literally, it's Power Girl #1 on the Adam Hughes run, and they are literally falling out of her shirt because she's like, Power Girl's here, and like, you know, doing the Superman thing. And that doesn't get old. After almost 50 years, it has been 50 years, 70, well, close to it, almost 50 years. That hasn't gotten old to anybody. I guess we aren't as woke as we think we are, okay? If we're allowing that to continue and nobody's saying anything about it. I don't know. It was just something that was on my mind, and I was inquiring about it, and I'm like, you know, what made Susan Richards' costume so ugly and made, you know, Power Girl's costume so classic? Because they're doing the same thing. I don't know. I'm edutaining and I'm also speculating. So in this case, your answer may be as good as mine. And if you do have an answer or a thought process you want to convey, drop it in the comments. And I will be coming at you with another one of them other ones. Hopefully not so cringy. and until I do, y'all be good. Be good to each other.